There was a time in my life when I had blurred vision. I wasn't finding peace anywhere, and I certainly wasn't finding truth in religion. So one day I decided that I would sit in the silence in my room, and I vowed that I would stay there till something in me moved, and I heard a voice. It was a still, small voice, and this is what it said. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. Now I see God everywhere, a little more each day. I see God in the flowers and in the bills that I choose to pay. I'm feeling God in my breath, spoken with each word. Oh, I'm feeling God breathe His life into me. Let God's love be affirmed. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. Well, there once was a wise man, and this is what he said. He said that God is good all of the time, and that's stuck, oh, it's stuck in my head. So I said it as my mantra each and every day. I said it until I believed it. Now that's my life each and every day. Yes, I finally achieved it. Sing it with me now. God is here. God is here. No matter where I am, God is here. God is
times you made me cry, feeling not quite good enough, not understanding why. I blamed you for the hell that I was in, then I burned through my resentment till I could love again. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. When you did those things that hurt so much, you didn't have a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive you, for you know not what you do. I still have an angry thought or two. I don't do well with those that try to tell me what to do, but I still try to turn the other cheek. Watch me walk away, you'll know exactly what I mean. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. When they do those things that hurt so much, they haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. I forgive them, for they know not what they do. The more you give away, the more you have. Everyone's a mirror of some part of you. It could be anger, it could be love. Why not choose love? Haunted by the times I made you cry, I showed you the worst in me, not understanding why. But we can heal together perfectly. For love to grow between us, there's one thing that I need. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. When I do those things that hurt so much, I haven't got a clue. Love needs no conditions, it will always see us through. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. Please forgive me, I forgive you.
Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. 1,000 cups of tea, but not like this one. 1,000 breaths we breathe, but not like this one. 1,000 suns will rise, but not like this one. 1,000 lullabies, but not like this one. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. 1,000 passing smiles, come on, sing it, but not like this one.
1,000 starlit skies, but not like this one. 1,000 words to choose, but not like this one. 1,000 I love yous, but not like this one. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time. I'm with a brand new pair of eyes, so that we may finally see. 1,000 cups of tea, 1,000 gifts received, 1,000 fields of green, 1,000 farewells will grieve, and 1,000 lives conceived. Come on, sing it. But not like this one. 1,000 hands will hold, but not like this one. 1,000 stories told, but not like this one. 1,000 beauties to behold, but not like this one. And 1,000 hearts you'll know, but not like this one. And 1,000 hearts you'll know, but not like this one. Put your hand up on your heart with us right now. 1,000 hearts you'll know, but not like this one. So let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back, let's go back, let's go back to the first time.
How many ways can I be grateful? How many ways? Given the chance, I'm gonna tell you now. How many ways can I give thanks for the blessings I have known? I've got a list, and I will tell you how. Grateful for each breath awake, grateful for each step I take, grateful that I'm here to play my part. Grateful for the morning sun, grateful when the day is done, grateful that I have you in my heart.
I'm in the right Hello and welcome to the People of Diversity Sunday service. We are a multi-faith community and we believe that there are many paths to one divinity. So what does that mean to you sitting at the house flipping through Facebook this morning or this afternoon? We have 9 different faith perspectives and we have 9 different musical acts. And the musicians send in 2 videos, and each of our speakers send in a video on the topic that we put out there. Just one word. We don't really elaborate at all so as to allow them an opportunity to come from whatever place or perspective they want to. And Becky and I say hello and goodbye, and we send it all to Philip, and he magically puts it all together into a Sunday service, and it's quite lovely. And if you want to support us in that process, you can find us at www.peopleofdiversity.org. There's a great big huge button in the center of the. There's a little tiny button in the center of the website that you can donate to. Weekly, monthly, regular tithe, however you want to play, but for goodness sake, play. I'm done.
Okay. Last week we ended our 9-week series on practicing mindfulness, and I have to say it was the most diversity between the talks of any topic that we have. I think it really I thought it would kind of be all people coming from the same sort of place, and they did not. It was really good.
It was.
So
it was diverse.
it was, yeah.
Yeah,
So we ended that last week with our friend Muslim Naran Sykes. Gave a great talk, very informative and educational and heartfelt. And her musical guest was Gary Lynn Floyd. This week we start our new topic, acceptance. And Oracle, our Wiccan representative Oracle, is going to give the message, and his musical guest is Jennifer Ferren. Next week we have Sensei Dave Vidito, our Buddhist representative, and his musical guest is Keith Leon. So, past services are available at the People of Diversity Facebook pages, so you can go back and see any of these talks. Go to the live or the video sections, and they're all there. The one from last week is pinned to the top of the page if you want to see that. But if you want to go back and see older ones, all the way back to the beginning of when we started doing this multi-faith thing, you can go back and see any of those. So this afternoon, after the service at 11:45, so I guess that's truly morning. After the morning service at 11:45 until 12:15, we will do our live deep dive. And Oracle typically joins us for that. So we just get together on Zoom. The link is below. And we just talk about the message, check in with everybody, see each other live, face to face. It's really fun. And then on Sunday evening, we rebroadcast our service at 5:45 on Facebook Live. And it's not live like the Zoom is, but we can get in there and comment and chat in the chat window and shoot hearts and that sort of thing. So we always watch the service a second time, and I always get a lot out of it the second time. Even more. Things that I missed the first time around. So I think that's it for me. Yes. Okay. So every week we bless a country, and if you know anything about the country that we are blessing next week, then send whatever you know, or any pictures that you might have, any stories, whatever, to the email address below, and we'll use them in our country blessing. Next week's country is Bhutan. This week's country is Benin. I didn't know anything about Benin. I do now. So Benin is a small country in Western Africa. It's about 44,000 square miles, has a population of 12 million people. It is considered to be the birthplace of voodoo. So when I read that, I said, okay, what does that mean exactly? I have in my head what I think voodoo means, voodoo dolls and that sort of stuff. But I learned some stuff. Voodoo is actually a religion. And voodoo, it honors many gods, masculine and feminine. They believe that nature has spirits. The rivers have spirits, and the rocks and the trees. And also that our ancestors are involved in our daily life. Every day your ancestors are with you. So I thought that was really interesting. And now in Benin, it's about half Christian, about 25% Muslim, and still 12% of the population practices voodoo. There is a 2.5-mile stretch of land called the Route of Slaves, and this was the last place that slaves basically walked to the ships when they were being shipped out of Africa. And for over 100 years, an average of 10,000 slaves were shipped to the Americas. And the last ship to transport slaves left Benin for Brazil in 1885. Cotton accounts for 80% of Benin's exports. This is really interesting. The median age in Benin is 18 years old. And the fertility rate is 5 children per woman. Their literacy rate is 38%, and less than 5% of the population can access or use the internet. So that a lot of, that's really amazing. But in the 1990s, Benin became the first African country to transit from a dictatorship to a democracy, and now they hold multi-party elections. So, yeah, some interesting dichotomies in Benin, that's for sure. So we want to hold the people of Benin in our hearts, knowing they want the same things in their lives that we want in ours. And we bless them, and we hope, we pray for their prosperity and education and things that would improve their lives. So let's hold them in our hearts and say these words together. May peace prevail in Benin. May peace prevail on earth. May peace prevail in me. Thank you. Okay, you're up, sir.
So, Miss Jennifer Ferren, once again, I'm going to step out on a limb and just assume she's coming from her groovy studio that she always comes to us from. And I know it's going to be intimate and direct and always powerful. It's so good to hear from her every time she checks in. I know you'll enjoy. And Oracle, of course, always shoots from his heart and is so literate in so many different historical perspectives that every time he talks, it takes the second time going through it just to catch up. So without further ado, we'll see you on the other side.
Learning as we go. Little bird was whistling in my ear, telling me you got to keep on moving. You got a lot to do, my dear. And my angel singing me a song, telling me you got to keep on moving. Love will never steer you wrong. Sometimes simple can be hard, but then we're gently reminded that love is who we truly simply are. A simple twist of fate can try to knock us off our game. Oh, but simple acts of kindness tend to bring us around again. Tis a gift to be simply you and simply me. So breathe into that and simply let the rest be. But simple, it ain't always easy. Sometimes simple can be hard, but gently we are reminded that love is who we truly simply are. Now history's filled with chaos caused by simple mistakes and by folks who simply had their different points of view to make. Oh, what we'd achieve if we could simply all believe together we can find our way. Together we can find a way. 'Cause sometimes simple is so easy. Sometimes simple's not so hard. Always gently we are reminded love is who we truly simply are. Love is who we truly simply are.
Good morning, everyone. This is Oracle Hecatios. I want to thank you for inviting me to your homes today. I would like to thank Becky and Scott and People of Diversity for this wonderful interfaith format in which we all get to share. And I'm very honored to start off with the topic of acceptance. Thank you to Philip for his patience and for his hard work. And thanks to our musical guest for such a lovely time, for lovely songs. So without further ado, let's get into it. Again, my name is Oracle Hecatios. I am a Wiccan, that is, I am a witch. I always then start with a disclaimer that what I'm about to teach and present may be agreed by many Wiccans and may be disagreed by many Wiccans, and that's okay. We can discuss this around the cauldron. It's not a big deal. That's just the philosophy of the craft. As we come to know witchcraft, is the philosophy of the craft is autonomy and independent-minded thinking, free thinking. So on the topic of acceptance is interesting. This was a very interesting theme to explore. Acceptance comes from the Latin accettare, which means basically to take or give willingly, almost as if Um, almost as if like there is no effort in what you're doing, no effort. It's almost like just you're willing to just give. And the root of this is in the idea of hospitality. The hospitality, which was very important in the ancient world, and the idea of hospitality, the Greeks called it xenia, in which a stranger came to your home and you opened up their home and you fed them and you made sure their cup was always full of wine, and you made sure that they had, they were taken care of, because it was as if this was a command of the gods. You never knew if you were entertaining a god or not. Um, we find the same, we find a similar aspect in the Bible where, the Bible says you don't know if you're going to entertain angels unaware. So this notion of willingly giving and receiving, it's not just about you giving, but it's also about you being open to receiving from others, you being open and willing to be um, to be that vessel, and to be in that moment. Now, in Wicca, there's really no psychology behind it. There's really no, we don't really have a mythos. It's just really up to the psychology of acceptance itself and how we go about it. But there can be this understanding that the goddess and the god, or the horned god and the goddess of the witches, who are our patrons in the craft, dwell within us, and we dwell within them. And so we can say that divinity is not just around us, but dwells within us. And as such, we are privy to the blessings that they give to the world, and we should be open to that. And for someone like me and many of you out there, I'm sure it's very difficult to be in that position. We many times are givers. We love to give. Or we are obligated to give, even if we don't love giving. We are obligated to give. We were raised to be givers, to be self-sacrificers, and to be able to say, I'll give you the adage, the shirt off my back. Many of us have gone through a lot of traumatic experience, or we were just raised with that kind of ethos. And so the notion, that kind of moral, and so we are willing to oblige others and say, yes, I will help. Yes, I will do this. Yes, I will do that for you. But when it comes to the obverse, we are unwilling to accept, to accettare for ourselves. And that is denying the godhood in others. We must be able, there's this word that goes around, namaste, and it's very popular. It's been very popular for many years now. Namaste, the divine in me recognizes the divine in you, and in Christianity we say God bless you. Well, God bless you as well, or in Catholicism, peace be with you and also with you. Well, it's a mutual. The community is coming together mutually, but unfortunately, what ends up happening is that one party is lying to the other party, because one party is not willing to be blessed by the other one, and so we have to take a good hard look at ourselves in the mirror. The goddess asks us. She reminds us that she is the moon in the chart of the goddess, which I read for our last topic, which you can find the video on the People Diversity group. But the Charge of the Goddess, which you can look up, written by Doreen Valiente, beautiful channeled liturgical poem for many Wiccans in the craft. The goddess reminds us that she is the white moon amongst the stars, and the moon is symbolic of the mirror. Mirrors are symbolic of the moon when we do moon magic, many of us. And magic is about change, and magic is about altering our realities, and it's about implementing that kind of change both within ourselves and within the world around us. And, we come to terms with these kind of things, but the only way we can come to terms with those kind of changes is if we acceptare, is if we are willing to receive and to give, not just to give, but to receive those kind of blessings. It's very easy to give to others, even obligatory. It's very difficult to receive. And so many people wonder a lot of times why their prayers won't work, or why their spells won't work, or why their magic is ineffective. And the truth of the matter is many times people are very wary of being able to receive the very blessing they're asking for. They may beg, they may grovel, they may light as many candles as they want. But in the end, if you're not willing to receive from the divine, then you are not willing to. Then you're blocking yourself. You're blocking yourself from what the potential is that you are able to achieve in your life. And this can go for anything, really. Now, acceptance is not just passive receptivity. This is very important to understand. It is not just passive receptivity. It's actually more like, and it's not just positive thinking either. There's this idea in recent years, since The Secret, about a lot of pop psychology going around about what is positive thinking and accepting and claim it, and all this other stuff. And in Christianity, I grew up with that. In the 70s, there was something called the Word of Faith movement. The Word of Faith movement is what started, it predated the Secret. The phenomenon of recent year. And the Word of Faith movement in charismatic Christianity, Pentecostal Christianity, taught and preached, name it and claim it. Name it, you claim it. Name a car, claim it. And this was the precursor to the prosperity gospel movement, which is very prevalent in Christianity, some sectors of Christianity today, which is very corrupt. Very corrupt. I grew up in it. I preached it. I was a minister. Trust me, it's not good. But this is not about bashing another faith, which I don't want to do. I just want to turn the tide here. But just speaking from my experience here, as an example, positive psychology is not the answer either. There's these extremes of passive receptivity and positive thinking. Just think positive, and don't think negative thoughts. And so that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you have to consistently think positive. I'm not saying, to be open to blessings does not mean you have to think positive all the time, because that's impossible. We are human beings. We're going to have a range of emotional moods. We're going to have a range of ups and downs within. But what I am saying is to remain focused. And when you remain focused on what you have put out there, on your prayers or your blessings, and what others want to give you, and the form that those blessings are coming in with, then what you want to do is you want to be able to give gratitude. You want to be able to live a life of gratitude. For example, let's say you're asking for a certain sum, or you're asking for just help. You don't have to ask for a certain sum. Just you're asking for help financially, materially, food-wise. You have to go to the food bank. You have to, it's a struggle. I've had to go to the food bank several times. It's hard. It's hard on your pride to do that. But I have had to do that. But I had to receive that. It's a blessing. And then when I was in a place where I no longer needed to go to the food bank, I began to donate in the name of Hecate, my goddess. Why? Because every dark moon she would have what's called in antiquity, she had what was called the dipnons, or the suppers, which were food that was left out at crossroads. And it was said that the poor would come out and eat the suppers that were left at the crossroads. Now, whether this is fact or not, we're not quite sure. It was written about, but this notion, this ideal of her, it's a beautiful idea to think about how she might come bless others and through another as far as food and supplies are concerned. And so that's what I like to do in her name. And pride can certainly get in the way of a lot. Pride can really, not boastful pride, like you can be proud of your accomplishments, but when you become proud to the point of arrogance, the point of, I don't need this, I don't need you, I will make it through, regardless of who around me suffers, especially your family, who depend on you, or just you yourself. It's your decision whether or not you want to receive from others. But if you're suffering for the sake of your pride, your ego, in a negative way, you're going to need to re-examine your give and take. Because acceptance is not just give, it's take. If you're giving, it's only half of acceptance. It's not full acceptance. You have to be willing to do the obverse. It's reciprocity. And the ancients and the cultures that we come from, our ancestors, were all about reciprocity. It was a reciprocity between the community and the gods, give and take, and it was a reciprocity between humans and each other, give and take. And this idea of reciprocity, where there was giving and receiving, this kind of barter flow, was actually quite lovely in its simplicity, because it meant that I do for you and you do for me. And it was a word, it was honor. It depended on honor. It depended on which was your word is your bond. It depended on your reputation. Your reputation was on it. It depended a lot, and people had a lot more understanding of themselves and their place in the community at that time. And there are many cultures where this is still true. Americanism, though, has taught this idealism of individuality. And so this individuality has been good to help people explore labels and help people become more independent of others and be self-expressive. But at the same time, we also have an innate impulse to to gravitate towards community, a community of like-minded people, a community of like-minded individuals that speak to who we are, and that we feel we belong. So there's this innate sense of community, and that's just a human experience because humans are social creatures. We evolved that way. But the balance of community over individuality is something that humans have always struggled with. And I sense that that's something we will continue to always struggle with at certain points. One of the things that I think, in my opinion, that makes this so much more in depth is the level, going back to Namaste and the divine, is the recognition that if we are the divine and there's this reciprocity going, there's the vertical and the horizontal, then we should be able at any given moment be ready to receive from others, not be greedy. That's negative reciprocity, but a healthy reception. And then give back in certain ways. Pay it forward. Spread kindness, spread love, spread joy. Bring back that sense of community for others. People are missing that today. And acceptance goes far beyond just material. It goes to the spiritual. It goes to the mental, the emotional. To accept. You're willing to give yourself to another, but you're also willing to receive another as they are. And in Christianity, we don't call this just agape. We use the Greek word agapeo. And Jesus used this word in Koine Greek when he talked about unconditional love. There was two Greek words he used. One was agape, and one was agapeo. And agapeo meant that as you are, you were to be accepted. You were to be as who you are. That's it. No change. And make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. But the teaching that I get from that is, if I was a Christian, the teaching that I would get from that is that the discriminations that go on today would probably not occur have had people understand the word agape. But I think there is this growing progressive movement within so many different religions that we are moving towards more of a society of accettare, of acceptance, of willing to receive others. And in turn, as we receive others, we are willing to give back to those communities in some way. We are willing to invest. We are willing to invest in the next generation, invest in the future. We are willing to allow ourselves the chance to take risks with our children. We are willing to change our minds. We are willing to forego old discriminatory mindsets and embrace new ways of thinking. And so so this is very important when we talk about acceptance. It's not passive receptivity, it's action. It's courageous action. And we as a people, and when I say we as a people, I mean spiritual communities, no matter what religion we are, and I say this because we're part of it, it's part of the interfaith format as well. We as a people need to share this message of acceptare because we share love, we share reciprocity. Reciprocity is key. Love, reciprocity, acceptance. Accettare. Love, reciprocity, which leads to acceptance. Love is where it starts. Agape. Accept you are who you are. Which leads to reciprocity. I will give and you will give back. And this leads to the final acceptance. I believe those are the steps. And they're all, they intertwine. They're not nice and neat. But together we can do this. We can spread kindness and we can spread joy and we can show forth divinity. It doesn't matter what gods you worship. It doesn't matter if it's Jesus. It doesn't matter if you're a Buddhist. It doesn't matter if you're a Wiccan. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is your heart. Your heart. Are you willing to make right thought, right choice, right action? Right thought, right choice, right action towards your fellow human being. And you have to examine not only towards your fellow human being, but towards yourself. Towards yourself. It's a powerful lesson. It's a difficult lesson, but it's a necessary. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me into your homes. Thank you for accepting me for who I am and for tuning in. Thank you to Becky and Scott and People of Diversity for their help and for their constant work to make this happen. Please think about donating financially and bless them with that reciprocity. And thank you to Philip for his very hard work and for his patience. And also thank you to our musical guests. So be well, be blessed. Merry meet, merry part, merry meet again. Goodbye.
Thank you, Jennifer. You are always amazing, and we appreciate having you as part of this family. She's been musical guest on this adventure since the beginning.
Very beginning,
yeah,
yep.
And we really appreciate it. And Oracle, thank you. Your talks are always so amazing. I learned so much. You're one of the smartest people I know in the universe. This is true. And I especially want to thank you because we had a schedule change kind of at the last minute, and I called Oracle up and said, "Oh, can you help me out?" And he came through and was just always just so helpful. And we really love you too. Thank you so much, Philip. You've done it again. I know Philip's been really, really busy. He's got a big show going on in Orlando right now. He's been working really hard, and he still manages to get this pulled off for us every week, and it's always awesome. And occasionally we run into technical difficulties, but they're not Philip's fault, believe me. So if you have needs out there in the world, technical, virtual or live, then contact Philip if you need help and talk to him and see what he can do for you. Okay. Tonight at 5:45 we will rebroadcast this service, so tune back in if you want, or send somebody else that if you heard something that touched your heart, or that something that you think somebody else might be able to use in their lives, then tune back in tonight at 5:45, join us immediately 11:45 to 12:15, 30 minutes. We keep it there, even though a lot of times we'd like to go longer. We keep it to 30 minutes, and come do our deep dive with us. It's fun. We talk to the speakers when they can come, and Oracle usually does, and just share. Everybody gets a chance to say something, and we really enjoy it. It's very enjoyable every Sunday afternoon to do that. So next week, a reminder, is Dave Vidito, our Buddhist representative, and his musical guest will be Keith Leon. So that's going to be an awesome combination.
Yes, it will. Be perfect, yeah. Okay, so we haven't mentioned it for a couple of months, but we still kept up with it. We tithe monthly to the National Interfaith Alliance.
Right.
This month for September, so last month, was $78. And if anybody's interested, we can give you the breakdown for the past months. Anyway, what we'd like to do now is just take a moment and say thank you for those tithes, for those that come in today, have come in the past, and will come in tomorrow. So big breath, center yourself, ground yourself into this moment. Thank you, Spirit, for this opportunity to be in circulation, to connect through this place of support and structure, and holding this amazing process up for others to learn and grow. And for this opportunity, we say thank you. Amen.
Amen.
So, before we do our groovy closing circle, we just want to connect in and share some stuff, and you're going to do that, yeah?
Okay. We're going to do our healing circle, and I just have somebody that I want to bring, and he's familiar to all of you, so I just want to bring into the center of the circle our Buddhist representative, who will be giving our talk next week, but he's already sent it in, because on October 5th, Dave Vidito is going to the hospital and donating a kidney to someone that's associated with the Open Mind Zen Center. And we just want to hold David in our hearts, and the person that's receiving his kidney, lucky person, to get part of Dave. Yeah, that's amazing. And all the doctors and the people that will be involved in that effort. And just please hold him in our hearts now and on October 5th particularly. And Dave, if you're watching, you know that I'll be right there with you. So thank you.
Oh. So let's gather up in our mind's eye in a circle anyone, including our brother David, who might need support, yourself included, so that you might get the healing support you need, and push out to those who are in need in your circle. Let's hold all these people in our mind's eye and listen to this last song as we all put out energy to the universe and receive energy in. We will see you in the deep dive this evening, next week. Have an amazing week.
One power, one power, one power. One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love.